All right, hey guys, we're gonna take a few minutes to discuss the two poll questions that Greedo posted just prior to the Mandalorian season 3 finale, and we're gonna go ahead and just do them one by one here. The first one he'd put up was if the Mandalorian episode titled "The Spies" refers to a hidden spy or traitor, who do you think is the spy? And that came back with 544 votes, with a resounding 51% for the armor.
Oh,
We know Gundark didn't vote for the
no.
armor,
No. And then coming in at second place at 18% was
the Dark Horse.
yeah, the Dark Horse
So not appearing in our film.
was again, I don't know the name of the character. I've got to get
Casca
better.
Reeves or
Casca Reeves, thank you.
something
Yeah, I
like
was gonna
that,
say
yeah.
the WWE wrestler.
Yes,
Casca
Sasha.
Reeves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then at 16%, another character I don't know that.
Well, there was the group. It was
The
supposed
gentleman,
to
yeah,
represent
the group of guys
the
on
Mandalorian survivors on the desert.
right, the Mandalorian
glass skiff.
survivors.
Right.
And then finally, Axe Woves came in at 15%.
That was my vote. What did you guys vote for?
I voted for Axe Woves.
I actually voted for the armor.
Oh no, I'm sorry. No. I did vote for the armor. I'm
You
sorry.
did,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, I gotta defend myself here. It's not what I wanted. I was
No,
going
it's just
according
you're
to
being
what
realistic
I thought.
and-
Yeah,
You were
what I
swayed.
thought
We were
was
all swayed that there was going to be some kind of traitor by
Sure.
stuff we
and
read and
and
everything.
they tricked me too because they had on the Disney website where you click on the icon for the beginning of the episode right above the spies episode, right above the title, the spies that had her face. Oh, great.
Right. It was like the thumbnail
So,
or whatever. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And then, we talked about it. There were so many things that if you really looked at it from a certain angle, like, oh yeah, she could totally be the spy. The way,
Yeah.
the way she's leaning into it, she could be working for Gideon because she's the one who's getting them all together and bring them. She's making it look like Bo's doing it, but she's really doing it, and luring them all to Mandalore so that they all could be snuffed out.
What
so.
really got me was when we saw in the spies episode that Gideon had been working with Beskar Armor, and
Yeah, how did he do
Greedo
that?
said
Yeah.
we need
Right,
an
and
armor.
yeah.
Yeah,
And the armor I figured it was working. creating his armor
I'm
for him.
always thinking of things that are too complicated for the actual show. Like I really get that
Yeah.
armor from. It's like I guess if you have a hot enough forge, you can forge Beskar, or maybe they made a close approximation. He's just bragging. He's nothing's
Right.
going to stop Gideon from bragging.
Exactly.
I did want to read a comment on that poll from Josh Freeman.
Okay.
Josh Freeman, if you're out there, hey buddy. He's the only one that I think came close to being right. He basically said the title doesn't refer to any traitors. It's the spies entered the promised land ahead of the tribe. He's talking about in the Bible. That's what these Mandos were doing. They were spying out the land. A lot of this season is religious. Even there was a baptism early on in the season.
Right.
A lot of this season is religious. Even the molten glass piece in the first episode is a quote from the book of Exodus. This is the Mandalorian exodus to the promised land. The squad we see go ahead are equivalent to the 12 spies of Israel. And he put underneath that, I may be wrong, or it may have double meaning. He was hedging his bets a little, but I think he was the closest to actually being right. And I don't think the Mandalorian's trying to be overtly biblical or anything, but there are other parallels throughout the season and references to, common, I guess, myths, if you want to call them that, or whatever. And I did say that when we were watching it, in our reaction was like maybe the scouts are the spies, because scouts and spies are pretty much the same thing. When they divided into a group when that, but I really thought I got swayed by everything I read on the internet that all these the armor was, when the armor let Bo-Katan go around without the helmet on, I was like, that just doesn't sit right with me.
It doesn't feel right. Yeah,
I think there's some plot going on here, but I was wrong. So
yeah,
the armor was just
a great comment.
I was
Thanks for
thrilled
chiming
to be
in.
wrong.
Yeah. Thanks, Josh
glad.
Freeman, and everybody else who commented and participated. Thanks for your votes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think us as a group, we're actually fairly happy nobody was a traitor.
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would have been
especially
devastated
that
if the armor turned out to be the traitor.
Especially if the armor was her own character. I wasn't looking forward to her being a throwback.
Yeah, like have the helmet
character.
reveal and look, it's so and so from the Clone Wars or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And then quickly our poll that I posted right before the about 10 o'clock at night, the night before the episode dropped, so there wasn't much time for people to vote, and I asked people not to vote after they saw it, but I basically asked, which of these characters do you think might die? The Mandalorian, Grogu, Moff Gideon, Bo-Katan, or the armor? And Moff Gideon was the runaway favorite to buy the farm on
Yeah.
Mandalore, 59%. Then it dropped to the Mandalorian, actually got 18%, and he was at 30% at one point, but
Oh,
dropped
wow.
as
Wow.
Gideon gained most of the poll. Grogu at 5%, Bo-Katan at 6%, and the armor at 13%. So and the interesting comment that I thought on that was from Steve Breedlove. Steve, if you're out there, hello. 1 in 3 thinks Mando will die, and this is when it was at like 32% or something.
Mhm.
That's wild. If they do kill him off, the show is done. I could see Gideon getting off. You were right, but I think the Mandoverse would benefit from having competing factions like Hux, Gideon, and Paleo and Thrawn all vying for their own vision. Obviously, Hux' plan wins, but I would love to see good subterfuge. So
Yeah.
he was pretty much right. We were crazy to think they were going to kill off.
Yeah.
This cash cow is still, squeezing out the green milk, and they're not going to kill it just yet.
No, not just yet.
And thank goodness, I would have been very upset if
Yeah.
Din Djarin, or Djarin Din, if he was on our planet, we might call him that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
completely.
I worried though that might be the case because of Pedro Pascal and the problems with scheduling him, and I
Right.
worried that they might kill him off and then go some different direction if they kept the show going, because they have other Mandalorians now, but
Mhm.
Sure.
still,
They could
but
just turn it
the-
into a Bo-Katan show, kind of like this season almost
Yeah.
was.
yeah. But I'm really, really glad that didn't happen. So
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, those are great. Thanks again for the comments. We appreciate everybody participating and chiming in with your votes, and look forward to more polls in the upcoming weeks as well about not only what we've just seen, but I'm sure we'll come up with some on some of the upcoming shows. We've got a few more shows coming pretty soon. I believe we have another Star Wars Visions season 2 is coming on May 4th.
It's going to be fun.
I think that's going to be the
that.
next thing. I really enjoyed season 1. And then, of course, the long-awaited Ahsoka series starting in August. So we'll definitely be getting some polls going about what we expect from those shows. So, all right, any other comments before we wrap up on that?
just thanks to people for participating. That was fun.
Absolutely, yeah. I enjoy these. I like get kind of taking the temperature of the of what everybody's thinking going into these shows. All right, thanks a lot, and we'll look forward to seeing you out there. Just like and subscribe, and keep leaving those comments, because we love interacting with you and discussing what we love the most, and that's Star Wars. Thanks a lot.